Ever wondered who the true fathers of boxing are? Welcome to our exploration of the rich and dramatic history of boxing. We're embarking on a journey spanning centuries and continents, from bare-knuckle brawls to million-dollar pay-per-view spectacles. Our story begins in the ancient civilizations. The first recorded instance of boxing comes from a Sumerian relief, dating back to the 3rd millennium BC. The Egyptians followed, with tombs from around 2000 BC depicting fistfights accompanied by spectators. Fast forward to the Greeks, who introduced boxing, or pygmakia, into the Olympic Games as early as 700 BC. The sport was brutal, with no rounds and no weight classes. A match ended only when one fighter conceded or lost consciousness. The Romans, ever fond of gladiatorial spectacle, adopted the sport, adding the infamous cestus, a leather glove often laden with metal, turning a boxer's punch into a deadly weapon. But with the fall of Rome, boxing too disappeared, not to resurface for over 1,000 years. In the late 17th century, boxing re-emerged in England. Initially an illegal underground activity, it slowly began to gain acceptance. The first boxing champion, James Figg, was crowned in 1720. Boxing evolved significantly during the 19th century. The London prize ring rules, introduced in 1838, stipulated that fights should be bare-knuckle and rounds should last until a man falls. Then, in 1867, the Marquess of Queensberry rules came into play, introducing gloves and 3-minute rounds. These rules, still largely in place today, marked the transition from bare-knuckle brawling to the sport of boxing as we know it. The 20th century saw boxing's golden age with legendary fighters like Jack Johnson, the first African-American heavyweight champion, and the charismatic Muhammad Ali, who proclaimed himself the greatest. Boxing in the 21st century has become a global spectacle, with fighters like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao becoming household names. The sport has also seen the rise of women in boxing, with champions like Layla Ali and Katie Taylor paving the way. So we've journeyed from the ancient Sumerians to the bright lights of Las Vegas, from bare-knuckle brawls to million-dollar bouts. We've seen the evolution of the sport, the introduction of rules, and the rise of legendary fighters. From its brutal beginnings to its current status as a global phenomenon, boxing has a rich and varied history. It's a sport that has evolved with the times, yet has always retained its raw, primal appeal. So, remember, the next time you watch a boxing match, you're not just watching a sport. You're witnessing a piece of history, a tradition stretching back thousands of years. You're part of a long and storied lineage, a lineage that, like the sport itself, shows no sign of stopping. And that's the knockout punchline.